Welcome, brave souls, to Season 7 of Haunted Earth, Terror Beyond the Grave. This season, we're venturing into the world's most cursed forests, where every shadow hides a secret and the ground beneath your feet is steeped in sorrow and dread. Prepare yourselves, for tonight's journey takes us deep into a place whispered about only in hushed, fearful tones. Tonight we unearth the chilling tale of the roots of the dead. They say some forests have a hunger that can never be satisfied. A hunger for life, for warmth, for memory. This particular forest, a remote, forgotten stretch of woods, has a reputation far darker than most. Locals claim it feeds on bodies, that it doesn't just reclaim the dead, but consumes them, soul and all, drawing their very essence into its ancient, gnarled heartwood. It's a place where the trees have watched centuries of suffering, and their roots have tasted the bitterness of countless unmarked graves. The air is heavy, thick with the silence of those who came before and never left. Walking through its suffocating canopy feels like trespassing in a vast, living tomb, where every rustle of leaves sounds like a final, desperate whisper. People who venture in rarely venture out, and those who do are never quite the same, forever haunted by the feeling of being watched by a million silent, wooden eyes. Our story begins with a man named Alex, a land surveyor tasked with charting this forsaken territory for a new development project. He was a practical man, a man of maps and measurements, who scoffed at local legends. To him, the stories of a body-eating forest were just campfire tales meant to scare children. He set up his camp on the forest's edge, confident and dismissive. For days, his work was mundane. The drone of his equipment was the only sound that dared to challenge the wood's oppressive silence. Then, on the fourth day, the teeth of his digger struck something solid. Not rock, but something that gave way with a sickening crunch. He stopped the machine and climbed down to investigate. There, in the freshly turned earth, was a human skull. Then another, and another. He had stumbled upon an old, unmarked mass grave. The skeletons were tangled together in a desperate, final embrace. But what truly froze the blood in his veins was what he saw next. Thick, fibrous roots, like dark veins, had woven their way through the remains. They snaked through empty eye sockets, wrapped around brittle ribs, and burrowed deep into the bone itself. It looked as if the trees had literally reached down to claim the dead, pulling them into the earth. Shaken, Alex documented the finding, packed up his tools for the day, and retreated to the relative safety of his tent. The image of those root-infested skulls burned into his mind. That night, sleep offered no escape. A chilling cold crept into his sleeping bag, a dampness that seemed to rise from the ground itself. He dreamt of whispers carried on the wind, the collective sigh of the long-forgotten dead. He tossed and turned, tangled in his blankets, feeling a strange pressure around his ankles. The pressure tightened, and Alex awoke with a gasp. It wasn't a dream. In the faint moonlight filtering through his tent, he saw them. Pale, thick vines, looking disturbingly like the roots from the grave, were coiling around his legs. They were alive, moving with a slow, deliberate strength, pulling him towards the tent's opening. Panic seized him. He thrashed and kicked, trying to tear the vines away, but they were as strong as steel cables. They tightened their grip, digging into his skin. He opened his mouth to scream, a raw, primal cry for help, but the sound was swallowed by the forest. It was as if the dense trees and heavy leaves formed a soundproof wall, muffling his terror, isolating him completely in his final moments. The vines dragged him out of the tent, across the damp earth, and into the suffocating darkness of the trees. His last sight was the indifferent moon, a silent witness to the forest claiming another soul. When the search party arrived a week later, they found nothing. Alex's truck was still parked where he'd left it, but his camp, his equipment, and Alex himself were gone. There was no sign of a struggle, no tracks leading away from the site. It was as if he had simply vanished into thin air. But one of the search party members, a man who knew the local legends, noticed something odd. Right where Alex's tent should have been, a new tree stood. It was a young sapling, but it looked unnaturally vibrant, its leaves a shockingly deep green, as if it had been fed by something rich and vital. Its roots, he knew, were already reaching deep into the soil, seeking the nourishment that lay beneath. Did you feel that chill? This is just a glimpse into the terrors that await. If you want to uncover the full, horrifying story behind the roots of the dead, click the link in the description to watch the complete episode. Scared yet? We hope so. For more tales from the crypt and journeys into the heart of darkness, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. You wouldn't want to miss your next dose of horror. Thank you for joining us in the shadows. Stay safe, and whatever you do, be careful where you walk.